think it's going to happen. Here we are. Thank you so much for hopping on this video with me, this recording with me, Susan.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I thought of this because you'd reached out and you wanted to talk about Padsplit, and I'm deep into Padsplit. So and I've had other people reaching out wanting to ask questions or get my experience or whatever. So I thought it would be great to meet with you and record it. And that way I can share it with everybody else. And yeah, so that's where we're at. Say thank you so much for doing this with me.
Yeah, and I know a little bit about Padsplit. I've gone to one of their webinars, have met with someone from Padsplit, but I'm just curious about your experience with Padsplit.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to try to keep this short because I can talk all day.
Yeah, so I have some questions. Can I ask
Ooh,
you questions or
go for it. Yeah, let's do
okay.
that.
Okay, so what was the process? Like, did you find the house first? Did you find, I know you work with a partner. Did you find your partner first? Like, what was the process? What did you do first? And
Okay.
did you find a lender or,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff?
All the pieces. Okay. So first thing was I had been talking to the Padsplit rep here in Arizona for over a year. So I've been learning about Padsplit since, I don't know, last January or February, just asking all kinds of questions. And little by little, Ellis, so patient, so good. He would answer every question. He would give me more ideas. So I had been learning about Padsplit for a while before I jumped into it.
Okay.
And one of the things that I'd really been focusing on originally was I definitely want to buy and hold, but I was focusing on long-term rentals, which depending on your market, long-term rentals are not cash flowing. Right. So that's been the challenge. So I would get deals. I would have wholesalers bringing me deals, agents bringing me deals, and I would underwrite it. And it's just like, okay, this is not cash flowing. What am I doing wrong? I kept looking at my calculators. I kept rerunning things, and it's just like, this is not working. And so then I went into, okay, so what are the other exit strategies that can work with buy and hold? And because I remember going to an event and Rahima, Jamil's sister, was there, and she said, you have to be willing and ready to pivot, right? It really all depends on the property. You know, you might have planned on fixing and flipping a property, and then, you know, market goes another direction by the time you get done rehabbing, and you can't sell it for what you need to sell it for. Well, then what are you going to do? You got to be willing to pivot, right? So this kept coming back to me over and over and over. I need to pivot. I need to pivot. So I started looking at midterm rentals. Figured, okay, now I'm renting by room. That means I'm going to have to furnish the place, which I hadn't planned on originally. But at least I'd get better returns, right? I'd actually get some cash flow. So I was really zeroing in on that. And Padsplit is a version, it's a brand, right, of multifamily returns from a single family home, right? It's a brand that is midterm rental. You have to sign up at least for 30 days. A member's signing up at least 30 days. So that makes it midterm. And then they go week to week from there, or biweekly from there. And so the more I looked at Padsplit and what they've been able to accomplish in Atlanta and Texas, all these other places, I was like, this is the way to go. Their platform, everything that they've done, it's ready to go. And so Ellis had reached out at one point and said, are you only looking for creative deals, or are you open to cash deals? And
Mhm.
I said, I am open to whatever is going to get me a property. How about that? I will figure it out. And so he sent me this deal, and oh, it was beautiful. It was
Mhm.
so good. In Glendale, it was already a 7-bedroom, 4-bath with a second
Wow.
kitchen, second laundry,
Wow.
even has a pool, and fully renovated and fully furnished.
Wow. How perfect.
I know. I know. I was like, this is exactly what I'm looking for, because I knew I wasn't looking for anything where I was going to have to do a lot of renovations, right? I
Right.
was really trying to keep it lipstick at most.
Mm.
Just, okay, I'm willing to do painting, I'm willing to do flooring, minor changes. Okay.
Right.
I'm not into tearing walls down or any of that kind of stuff. Well, I go meet the seller, and he's a fix and flipper
Mm.
who saw this property and was like, "This is going to be perfect for a group home or sober
Mhm.
living or pad split
Mhm.
or whatever." And
Mhm.
he brought the property to Ellis, and Ellis
Okay.
actually took it to a few people,
Hmm.
and I was the one who got it. Just good
It's meant to be
timing.
yours.
Yes, so that's how I got the property. That's how I was exposed to Padsplit. You asked another question. I think I missed it.
Um, just like what the process was like,
Okay.
if you talk to, a lender first, if you found the
Oh,
house first, because some people tell me first find a house and then find the money, and other people say first talk to a lender, then find the house. So I was just curious, like what you did.
yes. Okay. So my experience was, and I think this will make it super clear on what you want to do. For me, when I went to look at this property, he was already showing the property to other buyers. And literally, as we're talking, I had just done the walkthrough. It's beautiful. I want this property. And the other buyer that had come by to look at it was texting him saying he's trying to get his pre-approval.
Mhm.
Okay. So what I said to him was, I want this property. What do I need to do? And he said, well, when can you close? And I said, well, when do you want to close? And he thought about it, and he said, 15 days. I need to close in 15 days because I need to pay off my hard money lender.
Mhm.
And I said, all right, done. And he goes, what? And I said, yes. If you need to close in 15 days, I will make it happen. This
Mhm.
is on a Saturday. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Saturday afternoon. And he's just like, oh my God, you just blew every other buyer out of the water. And I
Mhm.
was like, all right, let's do it. I'm going to go home right now. I'm going to get the contract. I will get the pre-approval over. I will send everything over to you tonight. I skipped a meetup to go do that, by the way. I was like, I don't even care. I will network later. I am going to get my hands on a property.
Mhm. So you were already pre-approved.
So, right. So I had actually been under contract for another property in December of last year, and that I didn't go through with that. That's a
Okay.
whole other story. So I had already gone through a good part of the process with my lender. And so I already knew what I was approved for,
Okay.
and like the maximum that I could approve for. And so I knew I'd have no problem. It was just a matter of, would he be checking his text messages on a Saturday and get me that
Right.
pre-approval? And he did. And his name is Matt Bell, and he's been in the sub 2 community, right? He's awesome. And so, yeah, so I texted him and I was just like, happy Saturday, Matt. I know it's the weekend. Is there any way either you send me the site where I can get my pre-approval, or if you can send that to me? I got a property I need to get under contract today. It would be so awesome. And he was like, yeah. And he got it for me within like a couple of hours, I think. It was so
Wow.
fast. And I sent
So
that with my contract and got it.
what type of loan did you get? Was it like hard money, private money, just traditional? Like what kind
Yeah.
of
So I decided to go to the traditional route.
okay.
And that worked for me because I have a W-2.
Right.
Excuse me. Right. So what I talked to Matt about was, I didn't say this is exactly what I want. I want a conventional loan. I didn't say that. What I asked was, I'm looking at this property that I plan on doing as a pad split or co-living, and it's going to eventually be under an LLC. I'd like it under an LLC now. What is going to be the best fit for me to get the best rate
Mhm.
with the lowest down payment? That's what I was looking for. I didn't want to have to do a lot of money out to begin with, and I wanted to get the best rate possible. And so what Matt did is considering I have a W-2, he was able to, and he knows I'm an investor and I plan on renting this property out. He was like, okay, well, the problem with pad split properties right now is that there's no established market for it. Meaning, if you were to say that you were going to do a long-term rental, we can go to the MLS, we can go to Zillow, we can go to
Right.
all these third-party sources to see, well, what is that rental rate going to look like, so that we know what you're going to be able to cover, right? What are you going to
Mhm.
earn on this property? And so you can't do that with pad splits yet,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So he said, then the other option is short-term rental. We can go to Airbnb,
Mhm.
AirDNA,
Right.
right? To see what that rate could be if you were doing it as a short-term rental, but you're not doing it as a short-term rental either.
Mhm.
So CMG had a specific product that worked for my situation, being that I have a W-2, where it was located and all of those things, where he did a hybrid. He looked at
Mhm.
what is the long-term rental, what is the short-term rental. Okay, we're gonna combine these in some way when we're doing that evaluation. And so that is how I got 7.375% with 15% down on a conventional loan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
so now I know you have a partner. What was the reason why you wanted a partner?
I wanted a partner because sorry, I didn't realize I was going to get cut off the screen getting water.
It's okay.
I burned my tongue at lunch earlier and it's
Oh
hurting.
no.
Yes. So, why a partner? My ultimate goal for this year is I want 12 pad split properties by the end of this year.
Wow.
So, if I'm going to do that, I have to have a partner. I need to be able
Mhm.
to scale. Not just one partner. I'm open to having a partner for every one of those 12, or if my partner wants to do multiple, we can do multiple together. But that's the ultimate goal for this year is I want to have 12 pad split properties by the end of this year, and can't do it by myself.
Mhm.
And so I originally planned on this property. I was fine doing it by myself.
Okay.
And the moment I got in my car, leaving that property, I called my now partner, and I was ecstatic, right? I got this property. It's so good. It's so good. I ran the numbers before I even went over there. I was like, oh, if this looks as good as the pictures in real life, oh my God. So yeah, so I called her up and I was super excited. I'm like, I am on my way home now to sign this contract and get my pre-approval over to the seller. And she was asking me questions about it, and I was telling her everything, and she's like, wow, this sounds really good, like send me the info. And then it clicked, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll send you. Wait, how much info do you want? I'm like, do you want just the address because you want to see what I'm talking about, or would you like me to present it to you? And she was like, why don't you present it to me? I was like, okay, I will. So I did. I made up my nice little email presentation. I didn't do a pretty slide deck on Canva. Who has time for that? Maybe eventually I will. But in an email, I had basically a set template that I use, just going through where I got the property, how I got the property, and then all the details of that property, the price, the ARV, all of the things, all of the details, the comps, my underwriting spreadsheet that I use to underwrite the property. I basically, I Zillow, I put the Zillow link in there, and I also have a link to my Google Drive where I have all the pictures, all the underwriting video. I go through a video. I use Kubicasa. If you've not heard of that app, yes, I go through that to measure everything, so I know exactly what I can do with the rooms. So yeah, I put all of that together, emailed it to her, and she's like, yeah, I want in on this. So that's what we ended up doing.
So what do you each do?
So she's very much about needing to be hands off, which is fine. So she brought funds, I brought funds, and then I operate.
Okay.
Yep.
And now filling your Padsplit, did you just use the Padsplit marketing, or did you market some on your own also, or how did that go?
All of the above. So Padsplit now spends about $350,000 a month on marketing. Yes. Wow. Nationwide. Now I looked at some of their charts and everything, and I could see where they haven't actually been spending too much in Arizona, which is funny because it is booming here in Arizona. Right. Ellis said we are on track to outpace Atlanta, Georgia, where they started. Yes. Wow, well, Maricopa County is one of the largest counties in the nation. So it makes sense, right? So, yeah, so it's all organic growth right now. So we have that. They have all kinds of awesome tools on their website for looking at how you're lining up on the padsplit.com page for members. Like, are you on the first page? Are you on the last page? How do we get you moved up to the first page? They really, their resources are amazing. There's a lot of reasons why I debated between doing Padsplit and going another route. And even up until almost like I already had the property, and I still was kind of like, do I really want to go with Padsplit, or maybe I don't go with Padsplit? But I'm so thankful I did. I really am. The tools and resources that they have, the way that you can communicate with the members, the way you can see your earnings, managing any kind of maintenance tickets that the members initiate. That's super easy. And they walk you through everything from getting a property, getting funding. They'll help you with all of that, actually. They have all
Okay.
the resources. So they'll help you find a property, get the funding for the property, the photography. I had a photographer from their site that did the pictures and the video that now I've put out there, and all of those things, all through the whole process. How do you prepare your property to make sure that you're ready to go live with that? We did an open house, which was awesome, and then with what I decided to do as well is I set up a Facebook account just for that property so that I can advertise as well. And I have all the pictures, I have the video, and I also pull content from Padsplit. Like they'll give you
Mhm.
a flyer with a QR code where you can just post
Mhm.
that, and
Okay.
then it takes them straight to your page on
Now,
padsplit.com.
I don't know if you know that Zillow now you can list something by room. It used to,
I've
that just
heard.
recently changed. So I don't know if that's
Yes. Yes.
so.
I heard that that was coming. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's now here. So if you need to,
Yes.
what was I going to say? How long did it take you to get your property ready for Padsplit?
Ooh. That's yes. Okay. So I closed on this property in February and got a couple of bids for the reno because when I ran the numbers, it would do good as a 7.4 as is, but it would
Mhm,
do even better as a 9.4. I could have
mhm.
actually done a 10.4, but then I felt
Yeah,
like no, I packing bodies in. I don't want to do that.
right.
So I left it with a 9.4. That meant that I needed to add 2 rooms.
Mhm.
So I wasn't tearing walls down. I was adding
Cutting
walls.
it up.
And I actually videoed that all on Facebook.
Yeah,
It's on,
yeah, I
yeah, you
remember.
can check
Yeah.
that out. Yes. And I did up a little punch list of everything that needed to happen in each space. And then I would go through every day or every other day to see how we were doing. Um, I ended up having the seller, who's a fix and flipper. He was willing to add the walls for me and do
Okay.
the duct work and the electrical, all of that. There was no plumbing involved. And he said he could do it in about 10 to 14 days, and everything was done in less than 10 days.
Wow.
Yes.
Well,
So then it
that's
was just where I had to finish up the things that I needed to do to make sure everything was ready to go. And like getting the property set up on the Padsplit website and loading the pictures and talking about each room and all of those things. That was really it. There was like getting the fire extinguishers mounted and just different things like that that I needed to do.
right.
So we actually went live in March, and we had our first 2 members move in March 18th.
Wow.
So closed in February.
That's
Yeah,
pretty good.
got the reno done and went live and started getting members mid-March.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Now, Ellis says it can take up to 90 days to stabilize.
Mm.
So they say in any market, doesn't matter what market it is, it can take up to 90 days. You might have somebody move in and then move out, within a month or two, and then somebody else will, there's going to be some ups
Right.
and downs, but usually you can get it full within about 90 days.
Okay.
So one thing to think about is, what is your break even? So for us, our break even is 6 rooms filled. If we can
Mhm.
get 6 rooms filled, then we're good to go.
Okay.
And that's 6 out of 9. So the rest is just icing, right?
Right. Right.
We gotta wait for that. We're not there yet. We're still getting the rooms filled. But yeah, that it really, I've heard other hosts, they were able to get their property filled completely within a few days.
Wow.
So big part of that is where your property is located and how
Right.
many other properties are coming online at the same time you are. We
Right.
went online in Glendale at the same time a lot of other people were going online in Glendale. So
Okay.
we've got some competition. That's part of it. But you can go look at the heat maps on Padsplit to see where is everybody? Where are the ones that are coming up, getting ready to open?
Right. No, I live out in Santan Valley. I don't know if you know where that is,
Way out there.
but but there is a huge need. There's like hardly any apartments here. I see people posting on Facebook all the time. Does anyone know a room for rent? Um, so I know there's a huge need out here. But
Mm,
Padsplit, well, they just had a property in Queen Creek go live, I think last week, but that's the first one kind of out in my area. So
yeah.
would you recommend that I look for a property here, or should I look more in Maricopa County where they already have a presence? And
Yeah.
like, what would you recommend?
Okay. So I would first say it sounds like you've already got some proof of concept there. You've already seen where people are looking for rooms in that area.
Right.
So that's great. That right there is a good sign. You can talk to Ellis about that. Like, what are you seeing out there? From what my conversations with Ellis and looking at the data that I can see, I it's it's open, right? Like just because their website says Phoenix doesn't mean that they're only going to be in Phoenix. Clearly, we've got properties, everybody's doing properties all over the place. Chandler, Gilbert, Glendale, Scottsdale, everywhere.
Hmm.
So, you could be the first to open in Santan and get your property filled right away, right? And then that's going to be more and more people that are going to be starting to come and see because now you've shown it that it's
Right.
possible. um I don't see any reason why you wouldn't want to do that, considering that you're already seeing people asking where can I rent a room in this area.
Right.
Maybe Ellis can help you with maybe narrowing it down to maybe you want to be close to transportation, work centers, shopping centers. Be strategic in where you're going to want to
Right.
be
See,
there.
we don't have any public transportation out here.
Okay.
There's 100,000 people out here, but yeah, no public transportation. Businesses keep, going up, but
Okay.
there's just a ton of growth out here.
Yeah.
So, and
So
that's
if you're
another thing.
close to the work centers, then that's your key, right? You got that means
Right.
walking distance within 5-10
Okay.
minutes. Yeah,
Okay.
because usually they say close to transportation because what if they don't have a vehicle? If they're
Right.
already out
Right.
there, then they've got to have a vehicle.
Right. And what do you do for parking? Did you have enough parking spaces where you are?
Yeah, so I this property is on a cul-de-sac, which is not usually ideal, but I have three spaces in parking spaces in the driveway, so that helps. And then the property is big enough where I can get two more cars in front of there. And then we're the second house down, so we've told all of our members it's first come first serve. We're not doing reserved spots or anything.
Okay.
And if there's no parking at the property, then please park on the main street so that we're being courteous to our neighbors.
Right.
So that's what we put out there.
Okay.
Well, we're over time. Was there anything else? Otherwise, we could do a part two and just keep
Yeah,
going.
I was just gonna ask about managing the property.
Ooh, we should totally get together again. That could be the cliffhanger.
There you go.
I love it. Okay, now let's do that. I'm serious. Let's
Okay.
let's get together and talk about the managing piece.
Okay.
But before I let you go, how do people get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of me on Facebook.
Okay.
Um, I don't know if you want me to type in my Facebook name in the
You could
chat.
just say what it is, and
Okay,
then
it's
it should be good and easy, though, right?
Susan Leto Chung. So
Ooh.
I don't know if you'll remember my middle.
I'll put it in the description. But you might
Okay.
want to consider making that easy. I learned that in the
Yeah,
Squat Up Summit
yeah,
last week. All right,
that's true.
awesome. So Facebook, are you on Instagram?
I am not. I
Okay,
am,
so
but I never go on there. So
okay, all right. Well, thank you so much for getting together and
yes, thank you.
asking these questions. I want to post this out because I know other people have the same questions, and this will be a quick, easy way to get some of that information. Of course, we're gonna get back together again to talk about the
Yeah,
management piece.
yeah. I still have questions. I have lots of questions.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Yes.